Welcome back to the ARCA Zoomcast. Yeah, I'm Casey Campbell. That is not Charlie Crawl. That is Mitchell Brewer. Charlie from News from the Pits and also covers a lot of the ARCA series. Charlie it is a busy week in ARCA land, so Charlie had to step aside this week. It's a very fun times ahead in ARCA land. As they get ready to race tonight. It's ARCA Night in America. It's starting tonight at Watkins, Glen with the ARCA West race at Evergreen Saturday, and then Sunday for the ARCA race at Springfield. How's it going?
It's going good, Casey. I think you're wrong. I think it's ARCA weekend in America because they are all over the country of the United States. It is a busy weekend for all the ARCA series with the ARCA National and the ARCA West both competing.
Yeah. You got some big shoes to fill in for this week. So
I know. When you asked me to do this, I'm like, well, dang, if I got to fill in for Charlie, holy smokes, that is some big shoes. I would argue the biggest shoes to fill in for.
Yeah, Charlie is very busy this week. Of course, he's at Watkins Glen getting ready for this race. And then, of course, he'll be on the call for the ARCA West race. Actually, by the way, it's the 1000th ARCA West race in its history at Evergreen this weekend, and then on Sunday at Springfield. So let's talk about tonight's race at Watkins Glen. After we're in a pretty tight battle for the championship. Nick Sanchez won 2 weeks ago at Michigan, and it's going to be another one of those road course races. The last road course race for ARCA was very interesting. I don't know how this one's going to be, but got some strong candidates in the field this week.
Yeah, absolutely. And you bring up that championship battle, Casey. We talked about before we started recording. This is a great equalizer week because I don't think any of these three guys really have too big an advantage. And I lean towards maybe Daniel having an advantage just because he had that extra road course race earlier this year at Portland with the ARCA West Series. But that was a rain race too. And it's just like, does that really help if it's not going to be raining at Watkins Glen this weekend? Like, I don't know. I think it's going to be very interesting to see which one of these three guys can come in and start the weekend off hot, because this is just as big of a question mark, I think, for these guys as is Sunday. And like you said, there's a little bit more stacked of a field here today for the ARCA race. You got Brandon Jones in the field.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how these championship contenders, can they keep their fenders clean? Can they do what is going to happen in this race?
Yeah, there's also a lot of other guys that are going to be in there. You mentioned Brandon Jones. Sammy Smith will be in there. Sammy's got a pretty busy weekend as well because he's got the ARCA race today at Watkins Glen. Tomorrow he's got the Xfinity race at Watkins Glen. And he's going to jump on a plane and head to Springfield, Illinois for the Springfield Mile. So races 13 and 14 are going to happen this weekend as well. So, and then of course you got Taylor Gray, Jesse Love. Connor Jones will be in the 55 this week. Austin Wayne Self will be in the 32. Greg Van Els, Tony Breidinger, Amber Balkin. All of ARCA land is ready to go. Andy Jankowiak as well, the native New Yorker. So it's going to be a very interesting show this weekend. Also, Parker Chase will be in the ARCA race as well. So yeah, it's going to be who you got winning that race, you think?
I think the Kyle Busch and the Gibbs car are going to be really tough to beat today. I don't know. I think I'm going to go with Brandon Jones just because he has a little bit of an experience advantage over everyone. But I would not be surprised to see Sammy Smith go in there. He very much has been like Ty Gibbs this year, where it's been like, he's walked into the big ARCA Menard series with no problems, and he's been a big constant threat. And I think he could be one guy that could be a spoiler here today for that championship battle in Brandon Jones. I don't think it's an easy race for Brandon Jones. I think a lot of people expect him to just come into these races and just go and dominate. And I don't think that's going to be the case here today. I could be wrong, but I think it might be more of a challenge for him today.
Yeah, and of course, Brandon Jones will have one more race after this, and that will be at Bristol later this year. So, okay, so there's tonight, and then we got tomorrow for the ARCA race at Evergreen, the ARCA West race. That is the 1000th race for the ARCA West series. So many names have come through that series and have won championships. Can you believe that the West Series is at 1,000 races?
It honestly feels like they should be adding more. It's just like you said, it's been such a staple for such a long time. Even before it was called the ARCA West Series, like this series, regardless of what the name of it has been very important for the sport of NASCAR. And like you said, there's a lot of history there, and a lot of, like you said, a lot of big names have gotten their start in the ARCA West Series. So, and I think you're still seeing that to this day, where you got guys like Jesse Love who really made an impact. I think he's going to be a name to watch in future years. I think a guy that could be a potential winner this weekend, Jake Drew, he could be a big name in future years. It's just like this is proven to be a very important series, and it's been nice this year because the entry lists have been pretty stacked and pretty filled up.
Yeah, 15 cars this weekend at Evergreen. So Jake Drew's been dominant the last few weeks. And it's not the case as, last year with the close championship battle. It's not the case this year. Do you think Jake gets it done again?
I mean, it's hard to bet against him at this point. You do have Landon Lewis, who I think is going to be a threat. And I think once he gets his feet wet more with Bill McAnally, I think he's going to be somebody that's going to be really, he's going to be somebody to watch. He's proven that he can get the job done in the ARCA West Series. So I think he could maybe have something for old Jake Drew. But man, that 6 team is just on it this year and has been very impressive. And it's really just been one of those things where it's been like that we've seen in all of the top series in NASCAR, where you get that first win, all of a sudden that just breaks the ice and you can just start winning whenever and wherever. And that's really been the case for Jake Drew. And I do think he's probably going to get it done again this weekend too.
Seems like forever since we've had ARCA West racing on. So it's
for real, bro. For real.
Yeah. And then of course, 2 races is fun, but we have 3 this weekend. 3. So Springfield, the Springfield Mile is of course the first of 2 dirt races this year. And of course, if you win both dirt races, you'll get a nice $50,000. So that'll be fun. I think there's like 12 guys running both races. So this is going to be a pretty taxing weekend on a lot of these teams. They have to head from upstate New York all the way to Springfield, Illinois, as part of the Illinois State Fair. So it's going to be a good one. We got some names in that field. Ken Schrader is going to be racing in that race. And of course, you got the great Kelly Kofsky. You got Ryan Unziger. You got Buddy Kofoid's going to be in this race. Might be talking to him later today, so that'll be fun. Yeah, we got some names in this field, and plus, of course, a lot of guys in this field don't have a lot of dirt experience.
It's like we talk about wild cards. That's been a big theme in the sport of NASCAR right now, with the Cup Series ending its regular season next weekend at Daytona. I think this and the other dirt race on the schedule are the big wild cards for the ARCA Menard Series. Holy moly. We talked about this, Casey. Daniel Dye, I don't know if he has any dirt experience. Nick Sanchez skipped the dirt races last year. Yes. Raja, I don't think he has any dirt experience. Like, this is a crazy race. And then you throw, hey, if you go out and win both these races, $50,000. That's going to incentivize these guys even more. This is crazy. And like, you bring up guys like Ryan Unzinger. These guys can get the job done here, and it is an ultimate, like, who knows who's going to win this race?
Yeah, and of course, another driver, Sammy Smith's going to be in this race. I don't think he has any dirt experience either. Taylor Gray was in, yeah, exactly. Taylor Gray was in this race last year. Tony Breidinger has dirt experience. Jesse Love, of course, has dirt experience as well. But yeah, a lot of guys are going to be racing dirt. Greg Van Elst, no dirt experience, I don't think. I don't know if Amber Balkan has dirt experience, but I think she could be a factor as well.
But yeah, you go back and look at these races last year, and obviously last year was all about Ty Gibbs. You know who wasn't a factor at these races last year? Ty Gibbs. Like, that is how big of an equalizer this race is. Even Ty Gibbs last year, during his reign of terror, could not get the job at these dirt races done. And this is going to be crazy, man. And I have no idea what to expect for this one.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, 3 races this weekend, of course, on 3 different networks too. Of course, tonight's race will be on FS1 at 6 p.m. Tomorrow's race will be on Flow Racing. Charlie Crawl will have the call for that one. And then Sunday's race will be on MAV TV. And I'm hearing Bob Dillner will be back in the booth this weekend at Springfield with Jim Trado and Mike Massaro on pit road. So
Nice.
should be fun for sure. I believe Krista will be back at Milwaukee. Of course, got a chance to talk with all those guys at Michigan. So it was fun to catch up with them. All right. We have a big weekend of ARCA. We'll have all your coverage this weekend on this channel. Mitchell, thanks for filling in for Charlie. I know that's big shoes to fill for sure, and you did a pretty good job. So we'll
appreciate that. And I just want to send all the best wishes to Charlie and the whole ARCA crew and all the teams that are competing this weekend. That's no easy task, competing in two races that are on very different places in the country. So best luck to all those guys. Hope it's a great weekend for them. And obviously best luck to the ARCA West Series as well. 1,000 races. That's awesome.
1,000 races for sure. All right. We'll talk to you next week when we preview Milwaukee.